Welcome to the very first episode of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Laws Guy. Today is November 1st, and we are at San Siro in 1955, the maiden season of the European Cup, the one we today know as UEFA Champions League. The visitors, 1. FC Saarbrücken, came as champions of the Saar Protectorate, a small French-administered polity wedged between France and Germany, still deciding its political fate in the very week of this tie. The score on the night was Milan 3, Saarbrücken 4, an upset stamped into the competition's origin story. This first European Cup wasn't a neat champions-only bracket. It was a curated 16-team proof of concept pushed by L'Équipe's Gabriel Hanot after glamorous club friendlies lit up the press. UEFA adopted it in 1955. Invitations went to big hitters and intriguing outliers alike. That's how you got Real Madrid, Reims, Hibernian, Rapid, Partizan, Anderlecht, and Saarbrücken via the Saar FA. The DNA was clear from day one: cross-border, experimental, and upset-friendly. In 1955, AC Milan was a post-World War II force. The club won the Scudetti in 1951 and again in 1955. It had Grenoli legacy in Niels Liedholm and Gunnar Nordahl, now fused with Juan Alberto Schiaffino, plus Cesare Maldini and keeper Lorenzo Buffon in defense. A squad built to test this new continent-wide stage. 1. FC Saarbrücken was a serious team from a very unusual place. After World War II, the Saar was a French protectorate with its own football association. It joined FIFA in June 1950 and was present at UEFA's 1954 founding, while its national team even contested the World Cup qualifying for 1954 against West Germany and Norway. Saarbrücken were the region's standard bearers, deeply competitive in the Oberliga Südwest, and bold enough to meet giants on tour. In 1950, they beat Liverpool 4-1 at the Ludwigspark. In 1951, they famously thrashed Real Madrid 4-0 in the newly built Chamartin. That touring reputation mattered when Europe's new cup sent invitations. Wind the clock to 1948-49. With the Saar outside both the DFB and FFF systems, Saarbrücken accepted an invitation to play a guest calendar against the exempt team every week in France's Division 2, effectively a shadow schedule. They racked up such an extraordinary record, or concours, meaning outside of the competition, that they would have won the division. France Football didn't even print their results in the official tables. At season's end, a push came for full FFF admission, so Saarbrücken could join the French pyramid properly. Jules Rimet, yes, the World Cup's namesake and then president of both FIFA and the FFF, backed the move on sporting diplomacy grounds. French professional clubs, however, notably in Alsace-Lorraine, voted it down. Contemporary accounts note that Rimet resigned the FFF presidency over the refusal. Saarbrücken were back in limbo. Too strong for Saar's local Ehrenliga, unwanted in France, so they even created the Internationale Saarland Pokal, an invitational homespun cup some historians call one of the forerunners to the European Cup. Now to the timing that makes November 1955 electric. Just days earlier, on October 23rd, the Saar Statute referendum rejected the idea of the territory becoming a European-administered neutral entity. That vote effectively pointed the Saar back toward reunification with West Germany, later formalized for January 1st, 1957. So when Saarbrücken walked out at San Siro on November 1st, they were a team between passports, politically in transition, competitively already woven back into the German Oberliga. On November 1st, 1955, the night itself, it all came together. Kickoff. After 5 minutes, Pete Krieger swipes the opener. Milan 0, Saarbrücken 1. San Siro bristled. Amleto Frignani equalized after 15 minutes. Schiaffino glides in the go-ahead after 33 minutes. And then Giorgio Del Monte made it 3-1 in the 39th minute. Order was restored, or so it felt. Right before the break, Valdemar Filippi slashes it to 3-2, and suddenly the weight lifts off the visitors' shoulders. After the interval, the underdogs play without fear. Karl Schira levels it to 3-3 in the 67th minute, and 2 minutes later, Herbert Martin completes the flip, 3-4. The minutes crawl, but the score holds. The final score was Milan 3, Saarbrücken 4, in the first autumn of the European Cup. A protectorate team ambushed a super club in their own cathedral. UEFA's retrospective remembers a topsy-turvy first leg and a tight-knit visiting team who refused to blink at the sight of Schiaffino, Liedholm and company. 3 weeks later, in the return fixture, gravity pulled Saarbrücken back to earth. On November 23rd, Milan arrived focused and ruthless, winning 4-1 to take the tie 7-5 on aggregate. Milan will push on to the semi-finals, losing 5-4 on aggregate to the club about to define an era, Real Madrid. Saarbrücken bow out, but the first leg shock remains one of the competition's earliest lightning bolts. Milan ride their elite core into a continental era, Latin Cups, European Cup finals, and in time a global brand. Saarbrücken re-embed fully into German football after 1957. Their later decades yo-yo between divisions, yet the club keeps a giant-killing aura, as revived in recent DFB Pokal runs. And this night at San Siro remains their most storied away day. Because the European Cup, from its very first season, wasn't just a bracket of domestic winners, it was Europe in all senses. Borders in flux, federations negotiating identity, and smaller polities punching away above their weight for 90 minutes that echo for 17 years. Saarbrücken's win is a perfect hinge. Football quality meets political timing, and it reminds us that when historians say the cup belongs to giants, they always add, and to the nights when someone dares the giants. That's all for the very first episode of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history, about November 1st, 1955, when Saarbrücken sensationally defeated Milan at San Siro in the very first European Cup. Enjoying these deep cuts? Send us your ideas to otd@17lawsguy.com. Please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share with the football romantics in your life. And join us again tomorrow when we talk about November 2nd in 2013, and when Asmir Begovic scored after 13 seconds from his own half for Stoke City and the Premier League. Yes, the goalkeeper. See you then.